fell flat in my face into it, totally by accident. I'd broken up with my ex-fiance, and it was emotionally it was a very terrible experience. And I didn't know what else to do with it because I had to send my children away for a while because I couldn't function. I couldn't get up and go to work in the mornings. I didn't want to go to sleep at night. It was the worst experience I'd ever had in my life. My heart literally seemed to be ripped from my chest. I had all these emotions swirling around, and I could apply them or I could escape from them in this book, in this whole world where these people were totally happy with each other or totally in love or totally angry. I could take the extreme path if I felt like it. There were no framework, nothing, because I was just writing for myself to purge myself of whatever I was going through. A friend of mine actually said she knew a publisher, and that doesn't really mean much on a daily basis because everybody has a friend of a friend who's in some kind of industry. We hope we'll meet them and go ahead with our lives. But as it turns out, in October '04, they said, you know, oh, you need to get her your book. March of '05, my house burned down. I didn't think the book would ever get finished at this point. By October of '05, I moved back into my house. February '06 was my birthday, February 23rd, and I decided, all right, I'll give myself a gift. If she doesn't like it, at least I can get an honest opinion of what I need to do in order to become a published writer. I submitted it to her that Friday after work at 4 p.m. Actually, 48 hours later, Sunday at 4 p.m., I'm in the laundry. She calls me up and she goes, I want the rest of it. Now, at this point, she has 300 single-space pages to read, and she's read all of them. And she said it was the hardest thing to read, so never ever give your editors or present anything single-space in your life. But I just didn't know any better. And luckily, she didn't hold it against me, again, because she was a friend of a friend. So I went back to work. She called me up again. We sat and we talked for about 3 hours about the characters. She felt them the way I did. She saw the scenes the way I'd laid them out. It was like she lived those pages with me. So she gives it back to me and she says, I want the rest of it, double space it, do this. She taught me how to format it. And we all did this all by phone. I'd never met her at this point. I give her back everything else, and I still got 500 more single-space pages sitting on the floor. I had to chop it up. I had to put in stuff. I had to take other stuff out just so I could have a cohesive story, and I handed it to her. 2 weeks later, she calls me up and she goes, she's sitting down, and I'm thinking, okay, here comes the bad news. She goes, I presented it to my boss. She presented it at the meeting the same day as it's pretty much finishing it. And she says, how's a 2-book deal sound? And I go, yes. And she goes, well, I'll give you some time to think about it. I'm going, didn't you hear me? Is this thing working? Hey, hello?